Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the BSE Limited Q2 and FY23 Investor Conference Call. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company, which are based on the beliefs, opinions, and expectations of the company as on date of this call. These statements are not the guarantees of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anand Sethuraman, Head Investor Relations, BSE Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. This is Anand from BSE Investor Relations, and welcome to BSE's earnings call to discuss Q2 FY23 results. Joining us today on this earnings call is BSE's leadership team, consisting of Mr. Nayan Mehta, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Neeraj Kushrestha, Chief Regulatory Officer, Mr. Sameer Patil, Chief Business Officer, Mr. Girish Joshi, Chief of Trading Operations and Listing Sales, Mr. Kasi Tavadia, Chief Information Officer. Do note that the conference is being recorded and a transcript of this call will be made available on the BSE website. Before we get started, I would like to take this opportunity to once again remind you that our remarks today will include forward-looking statements. Actual results may differ materially from those contemplated by these forward-looking statements. Any forward-looking statements that we make on this call are based on assumptions as of today, and BSE assumes no obligation to update these statements as a result of new information or future events. I would now request Mr. Nayan Mehta, the Chief Financial Officer BSE, to give a brief overview of the company's financial and business performance. Do note that the session will conclude with a Q&A session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anand. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining the call today. I hope all of you and your loved ones are safe and keeping well. Before I start with the update, I am glad to say that BSE has continued to function normally without any interruptions and glitches and has been able to improve its revenues. We are also pleased to inform you that BSE Group continues to expand its activities to service its clients and the economy on the back of the strength of its integrated and diversified model. In Q2 FY23, BSE has expanded its platform offerings to launch electronic gold receipts and KYC KRA to service the Indian capital market and the economy. Let me now start with the financial updates. I am happy to inform that despite the volatile market conditions, the BSE Group delivered a stable financial performance with the total revenues of 250 crores for Q2 FY23, a growth of 6% as compared to corresponding quarter last year. BSE's operational revenues have grown by 5% to rupees 198 crores from rupees 189 crores in the corresponding quarter of the previous year. BSE net profit attributable to shareholders of the company stands at rupees 34 crores as compared to rupees 65 crores in the corresponding quarter of previous year. The decline is because of the added contribution to the Core Settlement Guarantee Fund to the tune of 36 crores rupees at a consolidated level, which is an increase of 485% as compared to corresponding quarter last year. I would now share some of the key financial numbers on a consolidated basis for the quarter ended September 30th, 2022 as compared to corresponding quarter of the previous year. The clearing and settlement operational revenues increased by 67% to rupees 16.9 crores from rupees 10.2 crores. Treasury income from clearing and settlement fund has increased by 71% to rupees 22.9 crores from rupees 13.4 crores. Listing related income increased by 3% to rupees 58.8 crores from rupees 56.9 crores. Other operating revenue, that is data dissemination fees, training income, software income, increased by 30% to rupees 18.3 crores from rupees 14 crores. Investment income increased by 20% to rupees 36.6 crores from rupees 30.1 crores. The operating EBITDA has reduced to rupees 13.4 crores from rupees 53.2 crores, with operating EBITDA margin reducing to 7% from 28% earlier. The net profit margin stands at 12% as against 28% earlier. On the business side, let me start by covering our primary market segment. Funds raised by Indian Inc. is well off last year's pace as geopolitical uncertainty along with other macro factors affecting sentiments. Since BSE has revised its listing fees with effect from 1st April 2022, slight uptick in the annual listing fee is seen. Overall, BSE continues to be the market leader when it comes to raising funds in India by the Indian Inc., having enabled issuers to raise rupees 3.7 lakh crores through issue of equity, bonds, commercial papers, municipal bonds, investment ITs, etc. The IPO momentum of 2021 has not carried over to 2022 so far, which has resulted in lower book building and listing processing income for the quarter. We expect IPO activity to pick up in the second half of FY 2023. The total number of investors registered with BSE now stands at 11.7 crores. BSE trading segments, after record-breaking turnover in FY22, volatile market conditions have resulted in slowdown during the first half of FY23. However, BSE has been able to improve its market share for the quarter under review. Facing the challenges of volatile market environment, BSE's performance in trading segments was muted, but currency, mutual funds, and insurance segments demonstrated strong growth. For the quarter ended September 30th, 2022, BSE's average daily turnover in equity segment stands at rupees 4,740 crores, growth of 17% as compared to the previous quarter. In the equities derivative segment, the average daily turnover stands at rupees 2.26 lakh crores, a growth of 88% as compared to the previous quarter. In the currency derivative segment, the average daily turnover increased to rupees 32,161 crores as compared to rupees 24,567 crores in the previous quarter, a growth of 31% as compared to the previous quarter. I am also happy to inform you that BSE has become India's first exchange to successfully launch electronic gold receipts after receiving final approval from SEBI. A total of 4 new products based on electronic gold receipts consisting of delivery units of 10 grams and 100 grams of 995 grade and 999 grade were made available to trade during the Muhurat session on 24th October 2022. This reflects our commitment to continuously facilitate access to high-quality investment-based products and services to investors. Our business teams are reaching out to market participants, including banks, vaults, wholesalers, retailers, importers, exporters, etc., who will participate in this ecosystem. BSE expects greater trade and liquidity in the days ahead as it continues to educate the market and onboard new players. I shall now discuss our mutual fund distribution platform. BSE Star MF, India's largest mutual fund distribution platform, continues to grow at a remarkable pace, with the total number of transactions growing by 39% to reach 5.91 crores transactions during the quarter from 4.3 crores in the same period last year. BSE Star MF platform continues to scale new highs in terms of transactions, with the platform processing a high of 2.08 crore transactions for September 2022. I shall cover developments at our subsidiary companies now. BSE promoted international exchange at GIFT City, Gandhinagar, India INX, that is India International Exchange, IFSC, has been growing exponentially ever since it commenced trading activities on 16 January 2017, with average daily trading turnover of USD 14.7 billion and a market share of 92.1% for the quarter ended September 30th, 2022. India INX has about $70 billion medium-term notes established and about $50 billion of bonds listings till date. There has been no change to BSE's stake in India International Exchange IFSC, which stands at 61.93% and 59.92% in India International Clearing Corporation as on 30th September 2022. On the insurance distribution front, BSE Ibix Insurance Broking, where BSE holds 40% stake through its subsidiary BSE Investments Limited, is now integrated with 26 insurance companies. The total premium collected is rupees 13.2 crores for the half year ended September 30th, 2022, a growth of 78% from the same period last year. BSE E-Agricultural Markets Limited, also called as BEAM, a transparent commodity spot trading platform to facilitate spot commodities transactions across the value chain, has now enabled 1,121 members and executed trades worth rupees 11.7 crores in agri and steel segments on the platform during the quarter ended 30th September 2022. The company is working closely with several state governments and their agencies for direct procurement and disposal of commodities. As updated in the earnings call speech last quarter, Hindustan Power Exchange, where BSE has a stake of 22.61% through its wholly owned subsidiary BSE Investments Limited, had commenced operations with contingency market segments, namely intraday and day-ahead contingency, day-ahead market, real-time market, and green day-ahead market segments. The volume traded at HPX, that is Hindustan Power Exchange, relatively modest, and the exchange is continuously onboarding new members and exploring new products to be launched, which can result in higher volumes going forward. I am also pleased to inform that BSE Technologies Limited, a private-owned subsidiary of BSE, launched KYC Registration Agency (KRA) on 27th October 2022. A KYC Registration Agency is a SEBI-regulated intermediary that grants the market participants authorization for investors KYC, which is mandatory for investment in the securities market. As updated in our earlier call, SEBI has accorded its in-principle approval to BSE Technologies for setting up Trade Receivable Discounting System, also called as TRED. The final approval is awaited. With this update, I now hand over the call to Anand.
Thank you so much, sir, for these updates. With this overview, let me now welcome you once again and invite you all for a question and answer session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone phone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, you may enter star and 1 to ask a question. We request you to please limit your questions to 2 per participant. Should you have any further questions, you may join the queue back. The first question is from the line of Prayesh Jain from Motilal Oswal. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good evening everyone. Just a few questions from my side. Firstly, could you give some clarity on the SGF thing? Why we had to pay such a large amount in this quarter? Any guidance for the full year?
So, Prayesh, Settlement Guarantee Fund is basically determined by various factors, which is stipulated by the SEBI guidelines, and it is basically derived out of the volumes in any segment, the concentration of positions in any segment, the volatility in that segment. So during the last quarter, our currency derivatives volumes increased significantly as compared to earlier periods. Because of that, it necessitated that the core SGF, as determined and computed according to the guidelines of SEBI, has to be increased. And that is why ICCL, our clearing corporation, had to make a contribution of 36 crores to core SGF.
Okay. So, okay, that's primarily based on the volatility that we've seen. Okay. Second question is on the star MF thing. If I back calculate the per transaction revenue, it's inched up sequentially. Why would that happen, and what should be the thought process going ahead?
Prayesh, as far as the mutual funds revenue are concerned, from 1st July 2022, this SEBI implemented rule. SEBI implemented a process, non-pooling, which is basically called it as non-pooling, whereby earlier the intermediaries would collect the money from the investors, and at the end of the day they will send one particular amount lump sum amount to the clearing corporation. So what used to happen is that the money which is collected by us, we have to pay payment gateway charges to our vendors. At the same time, this money is back to back recovered from our AMCs, asset management companies. So while our top line has increased, to some extent it has been offset by the increase in our expenses.
Okay. So this is a 1 quarter thing, or it will be now recurring, and this will be gross run rate would be similar in this range?
Yeah, it will be recurring, Prayesh. Because this has means obviously it will have some incremental expenses also, but likely that they will be slightly less than what we are recording.
Okay. Interesting. And with regards to equity derivatives, any changes in the thought process on charging the segment for transactions?
Yeah, so we have already started, but that is very minuscule on the options. But we look forward, as you understand, we are still giving incentives for the order flow. So we continue to do that. And eventually, when we see sizable amount, and then we can think about charging them.
And then lastly, anything on the CEO appointment?
No, there is no information as of now.
There is no further update?
Yeah, no, nothing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, we request you to please limit your questions to 2 per participant. Should you have any further questions, you may join the queue back. The next question is from the line of S.K. Srivastav, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, respected sir, many thanks for giving me the opportunity for the question. First, I would like to thank all the respected members of BSE for making it India's best exchange. I have a very small question. Is there any plans of listing of any of the subsidiaries of BSE in near future? Thank you.
No, there are no such plans.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star and 1 on your phone. The next question is from the line of Devesh Agarwal from IIFL Securities. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. My first question is, you did mention that other expenses are up on account of SGF contribution, but the increase that we see on a sequential basis is almost 45 crore, while the SGF contribution is 36 crore. So is there any other one-off as well in this number?
So, Devesh, there are other than the SGF, the increase is also on account of increase in clearinghouse charges. So, since the number of transactions which happen on BSE, to the extent they get cleared by NCL or by ICCL. So obviously BSE has to pay clearinghouse charges. So those are the ones which have increased by about 4.5 crores. Also, there has been an increase in professional fees, which I just mentioned earlier, because to offset the income which we are receiving from the fund segment. So these are the 2 reasons why our expenses have increased, other than SGF.
Understood, sir. And would you be able to quantify, sir, how much is the increase in the mutual fund expense?
So,
provision.
Yeah, it's basically a provision right now, but the total amount, based on the number of transactions which have come to us directly, instead of getting pooled at the intermediaries, the total amount comes to about 7 crores.
No, and
7 crores.
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, in other income also, is it all M2M gains or there is some one-off income that has been booked?
Which amount are you referring to here?
The 36.6 crore number that you have
Yeah.
for the quarter.
It's a component.
So the M2M component obviously has been totally controlled now. The total M2M is for us as on date is about 4 crores at the most, and that is positive for us in this. What we have done, Devesh, is that consciously after the two hikes which happened in the first quarter, we have moved away from instruments which are mark to market, and again there was always a risk of further depreciation considering the bites we were getting on with respect to the happenings in US and globally as well as in India. So and in the last 1 or 2 quarters, we have really got some significant good deals in debt, basically in state development loans and also in fixed deposits. So we have actually moved a lot of money from the mutual fund segment to debt and to basically debt and fixed deposits.
Oh, the overall volatility will now come down.
Yes.
In the other income.
Yes.
So is this a run rate around 30 odd crore is what we can build in for our estimates, quarterly run rate?
See, in the best case scenario, you can expect a return of around 6.5%.
Understood, sir. And sir, on your new spot gold exchange, the EGR that you have launched, what we understand from the other exchange that there are certain GST issues which can restrict the overall volume growth on that platform. Your views on the same? And secondly, are there any plans to start charging for this platform, or we have a certain time limit before we start charging for this?
So, Devesh, just to answer this, we launched it only last week at the Muhurat during Diwali, and we got a very good response for this, and we have already started charging for it right from day one. Yeah, and second, as far as the clarification, we still await clarification on the GST, and it might come soon. So then this product can really take off then.
Okay. What are the charges, sir, for this?
So it is rupees 345 rupees per crore. Same as equity, because the part of the segment, equity segment.
Understood. Perfect, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Participants, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask any questions at this moment, please enter star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. We have a question from the line of Amit Chandra from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, you mentioned about the hike in listing fees. So, it's applicable from 1st of April. So, the fees was hiked for all companies or only for exclusive companies? And, what's the rationale behind? Because we already have increased it, in the past, and it is at par with NSE. So, are you planning to increase it, higher from here?
So these fees were increased marginally for all companies, and some the company where there is market cap is higher, so that where market cap is higher, we are link fees to the market cap for a highly capitalized company.
Okay.
None on regular basis every few years.
So Amit, it's like this is the industry practice now. The competing exchange also levies listing fees based on market cap. Earlier we were charging it on the basis of capitalization, the equity capital, and so this is one improvement which we have made in our revenue profile.
No, and every few years what happens because of the increase in regulatory activities that are expected on all these companies. So this is like something like that. So it's not that, this is out of the blue. This will happen, continue happening every few years.
Okay, sir. And in this star MF, obviously there is increase in the realization, but excluding the pass-through, are we seeing additional pricing pressure from mutual funds, or the pricing is stable at from the mutual fund side?
Amit, there is no pressure from the mutual fund side because our charges are very, very low.
Correct. And, like this was a new change which has come about. And as Nayan has already, as we have already said that, this is currently a provisioning, and also separately discussions are also on. So let's see where we go.
Okay. And so any update on the monetization of the Star MF platform, because it has been there for the last one and a half years, but we have not received any update. So what exactly is going on? Is it still into consideration, or is it or we have not received any interest from any investors in that?
No, but basically we have not solicited any interest from anyone actually. Last 2-3 months, obviously, because of the much higher number of transactions which have come to us directly, we are basically ensuring the robustness of our systems and and the business. So probably we will, but as I have told earlier, as we have told earlier, in case there is any strategic interest or financial interest by the serious investors, obviously we will not stop that person from coming to approaching us.
So anyone has not approached, or there has been like disconnect in terms of valuations being asked, or any update on that would be helpful, sir.
No, we have not pursued much on that at this point.
There are 1 or 2 inquiries in between, but obviously we felt it was not serious, so we left it.
Okay. And lastly, sir, on charging, because INX volume has been increasing, and any plans on charging on INX in the near term, because or any threshold in mind wherein that if you reach that, then we'll start charging, or is it going to be free the next few years?
So everybody was in fact waiting for this connect to happen. It is also happened now. So, but still, just to be in the competition, at least for the time being, we think we won't be charging.
Because
we continue not to charge.
As done by competition.
Yeah, as done by competition.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. If I have any further questions, I will be in the queue.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star and 1 at this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star and 1. Next question is from the line of Devesh Agarwal from IIFL Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you again, sir, for the opportunity. Just 2 questions from my side. I missed your comments on the KRA business. So what is the update here, sir?
So KRA business, we have already we have gone live with the business, and so we are live. We are one of the KYC KRA participants now in the industry, and we are offering our services. And now this business will take this forward.
Okay. We too, sir, CDSL is one of the leading KRA, and where we own 20% stake. So why have we thought to go through separately in this business? Any thoughts around that?
So in this particular thing, see, what happened is there was this whole background where SEBI itself wanted exchanges to also consider this activity. So therefore, all exchanges. Now, what we realized is that as an exchange, there were synergies, because all investors, whichever segment they come to, essentially, from a member perspective, there is a lot of synergy in that. So therefore, it was felt, and that is the whole reason. This question is, in a sense, late, because we have already announced much earlier that, we are already going to pursue this business. So that is the thing.
Understood, sir. And sir, finally on the HPX, I think all the products were now being launched somewhere in July, August. but still I think the market share has been subdued. So any plans out there? What are your thoughts in terms of improving the volumes and the market share on that platform?
So see, those are actively under consideration by their board, the respective board, because see what happened is the most important thing for us. It was first to get the license and then get started, and then it takes. What happens is in this industry, it's a very limited industry. There are new participants, there are members who need to be onboarded, etc. So there is all this process which is on, plus participants, and there is opportunity also there. So, but it will take some time. But hopefully, since understand that there is an incumbent there, so there will be competition. It will take some time, but it will happen. And so it's just that it's early days, but we are now ready, and we have one of the best platforms, by the way, in the power sector, as a power exchange, which is well acknowledged by the market participants also. So now the point is to get liquidity there.
Understood. And any plans to get into power derivatives, sir?
So that is again, see, this is a product which SEBI has to approve. So there is no such proposal from SEBI. So you understand our framework, right? We can only look at products when SEBI approves products. Like in EGR, when SEBI approved it, then only we can launch.
Right, sir. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is the last question from the line of Prayesh Jain from Motilal Oswal. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks again. What would be your free cash on the balance sheet as of date?
So, Prayesh, on a standalone basis, it is about 1,376 crores.
Okay. This is available to investors, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And secondly, more longer term and from a 3 to 5 year perspective, do you see any of these new products that we've spoken so much about, your INX, your gold receipts, power exchange, derivatives, any of these contributing or together contributing to say 15-20% of the revenues? How should we think about it from a 3 to 5 year perspective from these products particularly?
Where each of the segments is a gold mine. The thing is that its time has to come. Each of this, see, we are in a very unique business where we have a type of duopoly or oligopoly. And sometimes what happens is that the products come first and the market then develops. So we have set up the products, we have set up the infrastructure. We are now marketing our products. But some things may happen in 1 year, some things may happen in 2 years, something may happen in 3 years. But the fact is that each of them is not a product where you can lose hope or you can say this will not work.
So actually, from a point of view that, like our revenues have been kind of in that trajectory, not seen very strong growth in spite of the fact that the markets have been very buoyant. So that's where I was coming from as to, how do we see BSE's revenues growing in the next 3 to 5 years, and possibly while the core business of cash volumes might not grow at an alarming pace, but the other segments can really drive up the revenues, and possibly we can look at something like a 18 to 20% kind of revenue CAGR. Is that a possibility?
Yes, we are in a financial market. When things happen, they happen in a very non-linear fashion. If you have since many years now, and you have seen how our revenues change, with different economic and macro conditions. So, the thing is that if some product starts working, it can start generating a stream of revenues which we would have not thought of earlier. So, frankly, we cannot. I am in the same stage as much as you are. We are working towards delivering the best results out of our efforts, but we have to wait and see how it happens.
Also, Prayesh, if you look at the mutual fund contribution, we started mutual funds way back in 2009, and we started pricing it only recently, till back couple of years. Okay, but now if you see the contribution towards the BSE, it's it's huge. So like that, but on the positive note, the EGRs, when we have launched the EGR right from day one, we have started applying transaction charges on the trade. So that is also a positive.
Mm-hmm. And last question, SGF, is there any discussion with the regulator to allow flexibility to withdraw from it?
So see, those discussions are ongoing, so they keep happening, and regulator agrees sometimes, does not agree, and then we have to work around some of the regulations to see what further can be done. Okay, so the limited point, okay, so I'll just twist this whole thing into just one specific point, that whenever we have an amount to be set aside for SGF, please understand that it's a good problem to have. Because what it means is there are volumes, there is a lot more clearing taking place in that particular clearing corporation, and that is the reason which necessitates the increase in allocation towards this SGF. So all that I'm trying to tell you is that the good problems come this way. There will be, and what it means is the volumes once they come, along with that, we have further abilities in terms of, how to monetize them further, etc., etc. So look at the positive side of these things. While it's an allocation, no doubt, but what it means is that there are volumes which are coming.
Okay. Sorry, just last one more. CDSL stake sale 20% to 50%. Any thoughts there now?
Sorry?
CDSL stake sale.
So, Prayesh, we'll have to reduce 5% by 2nd October 2023. That's the mandate as per the regulations. And at the appropriate point of time, we would be taking appropriate decision on that matter.
Okay. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Prayesh.
Thank you. As there are no further questions, I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Anand Sethuraman for closing comments.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for being here today. Do know that should you have any further questions or you need any particular information or data, please reach out to us or write to us at bse.ir@bseindia.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of BSE Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.